We're going to discuss nonverbal and verbal communications today. So defining verbal and nonverbal, verbal communication can be used by using words to communicate with others. Also, these words can have connotative and denotative meanings. Connotative meaning that I used to say sick back in the 60s. It actually means sick. It meant like, oh, that's a bad outfit, like, or sick or bad, like that's a nice outfit. But now, if you look it up, like bad means something bad, and sick means that you're ill. But if you look at the denotative, oh yeah, I just said that, didn't I? Oh, also nonverbal communications is the way that you use gestures and no words, and your tone of voice and your eye contact and gestures.
Okay, there's 4 main uses of nonverbal communication. The first one is modifying speech, the second one is conveying personality, the third one is replacing speech, and the fourth one is controlling speech. So moving into modifying speech, that has to do with things like positioning of your body relative to other people and things, the voice pitch, texture of voice tone, and your speed of speaking. Moving to conveying personality, it includes how you dress, your style, your tidiness, coordination, what accessories you have on if you're wearing a hat or jewelry of any kind, a wedding ring, things of that nature. Office and desk space at work, including size and type of the computer, chair, etc. And then the items that you own, from cameras to cars to houses. Nonverbal communication is also used to replace speech, such as pointing, using gestures, tilting of your head, nodding is an example, and your facial expressions. And then lastly, nonverbal communication is used to control your speech. So you can butt into a conversation to take control. You can speak louder or faster to retain control in a conversation. You can pause to allow other people to give you input. You can stop and request others to give input. Leaning forward or moving to request speaking. And then looking away or moving back to show non-readiness to listen. Let's compare and contrast verbal and nonverbal communication. So within meaning, using verbal communication, a sender uses words to transmit a message to the receiver. In nonverbal communication, it involves the use of signs. So moving to types of communication, there is formal that comes from predefined channels, and informal, example, things you hear through the grapevine, and undefined channels. Then nonverbal communication goes over chronemics, vocalics, haptics, kinesics, proxemics, and artifacts. So using verbal and nonverbal communication, there's always the chance of miscommunication. I'm sure everybody's experienced that before. In verbal communication, which is face-to-face, it rarely ever happens. It's the most clear and concise way to communicate. Nonverbal communication, it happens all the time, because if you're texting, emailing, whatever the case may be, it's really hard to pick up on emotions and what people actually mean. So an advantage of verbal communication is that it is completely understandable and there is immediate feedback. With nonverbal communication, it helps you understand emotions, status, lifestyle, feelings. So there are different mediums for verbal communication, and it can be through letters, text messages, phone calls. Personal presence does not make a change. And then with nonverbal communication, personal presence of both communicators is a must.
Now let's discuss the power of nonverbal communication. Experts examine that 50 to 80% of all interpersonal communication is nonverbal. That means that a majority of how we communicate isn't even through our words. Nonverbal communication is how we present ourselves and how others perceive us. An historical example is the Kennedy-Nixon debate. Nixon's nonverbals within his speech did not coincide with how intelligent he wanted to come off as, so he lost that debate. Kennedy's nonverbals were much more in sync with how he wanted to come off. He was confident, calm, and friendly, so he won the election, and many historians attribute his win to this particular debate.
Being presentable. According to a study published in Evolution and Human Behavior journal in 2011, people gained cooperation from others, received job recommendations, gained higher salary, and received larger contributions to charity when they were dressed in a presentable manner. And it's also the tone of voice. 60% of communication is body language and 30% is tone. Therefore, 90% of communication is nonverbal. And also eye contact. Maintaining eye contact with people and smiling have proved to make people more attractive than others who lower their heads or look around.
So cultural differences with nonverbals. This is the subject right here. So nonverbal communication is different for every individual, but it's also different for different cultures. So say eye contact. In one country, in our country in specific, is okay. That shows a sign of listening and being observant or perceptive. But eye contact in another country, such as Japan, is seen as very disrespectful to your elders. Oh my gosh, Victoria, I got an A.
Great job, Avery!
Oh my gosh, Victoria, I got an A.
Hey, Avery, come here and look at this. Come here.
Am I a dog to you?
Yes.
Hey, Victoria, come look at this.
It rocks.
You're cheating on me? Hey, I think I got this math problem right.
Good job.
Hey, I think I did this math problem right.
No, you didn't. You're wrong.